welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip. Well, people, we got to see Destiny catch up with Martell, and she definitely missed out some parts of the story for sure. Melody, I feel like, you know, the more things happen with the other cast, the more she seems to be enjoying it. Oh, and Melody and Nell, that was very awkward to watch. I did feel bad for Nell in that situation. Let's talk about it, people. Well, guys, people, my inclusive crew, let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, aka Love and Mugshots Huntsville. Anyway, basically, I thought it was interesting seeing Destiny and Martell in this little scene at the start in the park, where I was a bit like, why are they in the park? Is it because they're trying to avoid all the rumours about them two sleeping with each other and avoid houses? Like, why in the park? Anyway, Destiny and Martell were filling each other in. You know, she's telling him what happened when they had their ladies' trip to St. Thomas. And the way she was dropping the tea was very interesting to me, because she's making it seem like, well, Mel's got many faces, essentially. You know, her and Mel got into it, and, you know, she told Mel that basically she was teaching her side chick to cheat, when Mel brought up the fact that, you know, how can she be friendly with the side chick and whatever. I just didn't like the way she was telling the story, because obviously, you know, you got Martell sitting there like, oh, yeah, right, exactly, because, you know, she was over there with all these dudes anyway and just dropping in what he wants to drop in. But to me, she made it seem like, you know, she had this big argument, and then all of a sudden, you know, Mel was all nice to her. She missed out quite a lot. I'm like, what about the part about, you know, how you was telling her you missed the friendship and how you loved her, and you couldn't wait to kind of, you know, get friendly with her, and you booted someone out of their seat. I think it was Stormy. You booted them out of their seat so you could sit next to Mel. You didn't tell him all these things. So I was just a bit like, yeah, this is very interesting indeed. And then when she brings up Trisha, why was Martell acting so triggered? I'm like, if it's nothing special, why are you acting so triggered? He's like, oh, everyone keeps bringing it up. You know, Marceau was being messy, and so was Maurice, but, you know, basically, you know, going in on Marceau. And then, of course, trying to throw rocks at Mel at the same time. But yeah, anyway, so he's talking about Marceau being messy with the jokes, and then being annoyed at Marceau to the point where he's now outing Marceau again. Now, we've seen Martell out Marceau about him cheating before. He's thrown shade at him before, and this time he's basically saying, look, he didn't like the way Marceau's kept coming for him, making little jokes and digs, acting like, you know, he's a saint essentially, and that, you know, his marriage would never fail because he doesn't do the things that will create his marriage to break down essentially. So he's not a cheater. Whereas Martell is like, yeah, Marceau is a cheater. Yeah, he is. He said he's a mother effing cheater, and I said, oh, okay, this is interesting. And he should basically shut up, and if he's cheating, he needs to shut his mouth, basically. So I'm like, okay, well, if he is cheating, he should shut his mouth. But also, we've heard these rumours and not seen anything. We know Tish doesn't pay any attention to any of this. I still believe where there's smoke, there is fire. The way this man's always quick to talk about Marceau and his cheating, I feel like something has happened there. But until we see receipts, what can we do here but just watch and wait and see what transpires? I'm just like, this is interesting. When Martell's saying that Marceau is worse than him, I'm like, whew. Well, I wouldn't go that far, because, my Lord, does he have me defending Marceau here? But I've not heard of Marceau having any outside children anywhere. Has anyone else? Because I have not, because whatever dirt he seems to be doing, he seems to be digging it down deep and burying that shit, because I ain't seen nothing about no outside babies, unlike Martell. Well, we know that they're going to get into a bit of an arguing match next week by looks of things. Anyway, another part that I thought was interesting was when Nell went to go and visit Mel at her house. Now, obviously, we know Nell was annoyed a little bit on the girls' trip about the room situation. She says to Mel that she's upset with her, and Mel's like, oh, well, I'm upset with you too. So I'm like, what's she upset about? So obviously, Nell's bringing up the whole, you know, trip situation and feeling a little bit left out. And obviously, Mel's just taking it lightly, like, oh, well, I didn't think you'd be upset. I thought you'd be okay about it. When Mel starts getting on a little high horse and starts saying, oh, well, she's upset about the interview, I was a bit like, okay, we watched the playback of the interview, and I don't think Nell said anything wrong. The situation can be draining. It was draining for her. And I feel like Mel was out of order to be laughing in her face when she said that she was a mentor to her, because we saw her on the TV. That's how we saw her. When you lot were going for your mix-up in your marriage, we saw you go into the Fletchers for advice, and you saying yourself back then how much they help you with the advice. So that's essentially counselling and mentoring you. So for her to turn around and be like, oh, well, you've never done that. I go to God and I go to my mum. It's just like you sound very ungrateful, and you can see that Nell was hurt. Now, I thought Nell was a tank at the time. Now, she's saying that she took a little while to process it, and that's fair enough. Not everyone is quick-witted with it straight away. Like, that can be me sometimes. Sometimes I'll be driving home thinking, shit, I should have said this, I should have said that. Yeah, I get that. But when I saw her having a conversation with her husband and saying how she felt really hurt by it, I was like, no, you should be telling Mel this. So I hope she goes and has this conversation with Mel, because I do feel like Mel was out of order in that situation, and her getting up about, oh, well, you said I've been training you, or, the fact that she said that she's hard-headed or whatever. She didn't really say anything bad about her. She just spoke about her being stubborn and that the situation was a bit draining. So I don't feel like Nell said anything wrong, and as a friend, she should be able to say whatever she feels like. And if you respect your friends, you'll just take that on and be like, you know what, I might not like that, you said that, but okay, whatever. Next time, please just try to avoid talking about us. Simple. But I didn't like the way she came for Nell in that situation. So I do hope Nell goes back and has a chat with her about that, because it's not a good look. Because like I said last week, Mel has an issue with keeping some sort of friendships going, because there's always some sort of mix-up. If they don't seem to fall in line or agree with her completely, then that's it. She's quick to throw them out. And I understand that she's hurt by what her ex-husband has done to her and the betrayal and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like her guards are so up now that we're now just getting this kind of super bitch version of Mel. And it's like, okay, just pull it back a little bit, just a little bit. But it was interesting to me because Nell did apologise to Mel, but you can tell she's really bothered by it. So I do hope that they do speak and clear that up. Now, the whole Maurice DUI situation, it felt like a bit of a dramatised, like showing the mugshot and all this kind of stuff. And then we get to them sitting there, and he ain't saying nothing anyway. He's sitting there being guarded. You've got Kimmy, who's obviously the concerned wife, but doesn't seem to be able to get through to him. She's just saying, I'm here for you. He's like, yeah, not much you can do really. So yeah, thanks, basically. It was just very weird vibes to me. I'm like, are you hiding something there, Maurice? Is there more behind this whole situation? Who was you with? What was going on? I don't know, but I wasn't too impressed. But speaking of Maurice, he must be very happy, because I've read that his DUI case has been dismissed. So he's fine. He doesn't have to worry about nothing again. The case has been dismissed, so nobody needs to panic. It's all good. He's good. But I hope he's learned a lesson in terms of not coming out here and drinking and driving. And speaking of that, I thought it was interesting to see Mel throwing shade about the whole DUI that Maurice has been going through. Because I was like, why is she throwing so much shade about that? And being like, well, I haven't messaged him. I don't know if I want to be around these people. I get the whole mugshot situation and everyone's going through a bit of a mix-up, but I find it interesting that she's kind of throwing shots at him. I was like, what did Maurice do to her? I don't get it. Like, I feel like she's kind of enjoying watching the demise of people, and I don't understand where that's coming from. I understand her being upset and saying DUI. Maybe she's triggered about her grandma who passed away from a DUI situation. That I can understand, and I understand if she says to him, you know what, that's really irresponsible, because actually I've had a personal situation, someone who's been drink driving or whatever. But the way she was spitting venom, I was a bit like, I don't get it. I don't understand why you have so much venom. You're like, oh, I didn't message him anyway. I didn't even, I was thinking, did you message Kimmy then? Do you know what I mean? Because that's supposed to be your friend, so maybe you messaged her. Like, I don't get it. And if you don't want to be associated with these people, why are you still on the show, filming the show with these people then? Go off and have your own spin-off. Like, what's happening? I just don't understand. But she did crack me up when she started saying about she's not interested really in Maurice and his Martin Luther King speeches. And then they had the flashback. Anyway, I thought the episode was all right. I thought that her friend, Shanita, was interesting, because she seemed like she was trying to side with Maurice, like, I felt a bit bad for them and it's a bit embarrassing. And whereas Melody was not here for it at all. She was like, no, because actually this, that, the third, he was out next day, we were drinking his hand, how ignorant, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, you're just sounding very judgmental over there, up in your little high horse. Interesting times. Anyway, of course, I went to go and have a look at social media to see what people were saying on there. Here are some tweets that had me cracking up. Okay, so you've seen the tweets, you've heard what I have to say. What are you saying about the show? Let me know your thoughts below. Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.